Welcome back.
Yeah.
So, Barbenheimer, still ruling the box office. Though I think Oppenheimer is losing a little bit more steam during the dailies than Barbie is.
Yeah, because and that may be because A, it's over 3 hours long, and
Hmm.
B, it's rated R.
Yep. Um, it's like if you have little kids, what's going to be the easiest thing to go see? Well, probably if you have boys and girls, maybe Elemental, but if you
Yeah.
have girls, then Barbie seems like a clear win.
Hmm.
And some people have tried to make some culture war statements about Barbie. I have not seen the movie. Um, I would actually be in kind of the target audience to see the movie because I consumed some Barbie media growing up, having a sister.
Mm.
And if I show up at a holiday and they say, "Oh, let's watch Barbie together," I will probably say yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but uh, but I'm not going to go out to the theaters for it by myself.
Yeah. For me, like, yeah, I haven't seen it either. I'm not going to go out of my way to see it. Um, if I get talked into watching it, I'll probably watch it. But yeah,
Yeah, Oppenheimer, I could see myself seeing that at some point, but that would probably be like watching it with some friends on a movie day.
yeah, yeah. I'll definitely be watching that over streaming, and
Mm.
I may even spread that out over a couple of days.
Yeah, maybe they should do like they did for Zack Snyder's Justice League on Max and split it into chapters so it's easy to start and stop.
Yeah.
Um, but well, let's take a look at what some of the biggest movies this year have been. Now, by the way, Oppenheimer doing very nicely for itself. Like it's making money in 2 weeks that other movies this year have struggled to make in a month.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily going to be number three. I'd have to go back over the box office, and Little Mermaid could, depending on how much it slows down, Little Mermaid could end up edging it out over time.
Mm,
Well, because it's at like 500 million. This is like 440. Never mind. It's going to be Little Mermaid.
yeah.
So that could put the top three movies of the year as either Barbie or Mario in first place. Actually, unranked Barbie, Mario, Oppenheimer.
Strange, strange movie year.
Actually, no, wait, I forgot about Spider Verse.
Oh, Spider Verse. Yeah.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. Actually, so if a movie usually makes about half of its box office in its first 2 weeks, Oppenheimer could theoretically, okay, if it had very good holds, it could theoretically net out to like 800 million, which would put it in Spider Verse's. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I'll just bring up Spider Verse for completeness.
Yeah.
But what three of those movies have in common is that they've either not had a significant movie in decades, like Mario,
Mm,
and Barbie's never had like a mainstream movie. Like there've been lots of straight to DVD kids movies and stuff, of course, but
yeah.
um, Oppenheimer, historical fiction, like those aren't usually like necessarily the blockbusters.
No, they're usually yeah, smaller box office Oscar bait movies.
Yeah, in fact, let's find out. 1917. Yeah, like it's already outperformed the total box office run of 1917.
Wow.
And there's been ticket inflation, but not that much ticket inflation since 2019.
Yeah.
So, what I think this might be reflecting is the end of. I used to think it was, oh, people just aren't giving any movie the benefit of the doubt anymore. Like
Yeah. 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 Oh,
they were
sorry. Go
waiting
ahead.
until week two
Yeah.
if they're going to see it at all.
Yeah.
And then Barbenheimer swooped in and just completely dropped a bomb on that theory.
In Oppenheimer's case,
Yes.
probably literally.
So what I think we might actually be seeing here is the death of the old. or of the current paradigm. It's like I would love to go back and just like figure out when the Western died. Not, not
I'm
like not that
yeah.
Westerns have completely vanished, but they're much rarer.
They used to be, like yeah, there were almost all the time, whether it was movies or TV shows. I would say probably it probably started slowly dying off like in the early 70s.
Yeah, that might have been when they started, like when he started having these Italian places and other places in Europe just start spitting them out yeah, like there were like I think there was one year I think I was watching a Razor Fist movie on the subject, and there was like some year where there were like 500 Western movies that came out, or some ridiculous number like that,
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
fairly cheap to make, at least at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then yeah, of course you had the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns.
Yep.
And of course all the John Wayne movies. Yeah, I would say probably actually the movie that probably killed westerns was Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
That was in 1980, I think.
So here,
Uh,
Holy Ninja
Ninja
says
says,
Oppenheimer's only. Oh, go ahead.
okay. Oppenheimer is only 100 mil behind Dunkirk, his previous Nolan's previous historical film.
Did Dunkirk come out after 1917, or was that 1917 even? No, 1917 was Nolan, right?
1917 was
Or my
the 1917 I think was the guy that did Skyfall.
oh, okay. Well, shows what clearly a fake movie fan. Then I thought this was a Nolan movie. You're right. I was thinking of Dunkirk,
Yeah, Dunkirk was Nolan.
but still, 1917 doing that well for being a historical movie. It's
Yeah,
the war that people don't like to talk about because it isn't as clear cut. Like
right. Yeah. Um, yeah, and Ninja predicts it'll probably be Barbie, Across the Spider Verse, and Mario as the top spots. Yeah, I can see
I,
that.
I think Barbie and Mario are a shoe in. We'll just see how Oppenheimer legs out compared to Spider Verse.
Yeah, Sam Mendes. Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yep. Fake geek boy.
that's okay.
You can go ahead, you can go ahead and shun me.
Nah, nah.
But anyhow, what those movies have in common is that Barbie, a Barbie movie made by somebody who clearly had a message to say.
Mhm.
And what's funny is that so I occasionally watch stuff from the Daily Wire. I got to say that Ben Shapiro as a media critic might have some of the most off-base takes I've ever heard very frequently. Like I remember him saying that, oh yeah, he liked Batman v Superman better than Captain America: Civil War,
Uh,
and not even the extended home release cut that fixed the plot holes. And he also trashed Barbie. Then I didn't bother watching his review because I think Ben Shapiro often has very off base takes on media.
yeah.
So why bother? Then Matt Walsh, who's also over there, had a take on it where basically he saw it as satire of uh, a particular side of the aisle and a particular philosophy.
Uh,
And he had kind of seen a similar sort of satire poke at that side of the aisle in one of the director's previous movies, Lady Bird.
hmm.
So what that tells me is that if you can have two people, now I don't know how Matt Walsh is as a general media critic. So is he seeing something in the movie that isn't there? Possible, but it shows you that it isn't like, oh, trying to think of it isn't a Flash where it has very little to recommend it outside of nostalgia.
Yeah,
If two reasonable-ish adults can come into it with from similar perspectives and come away with different takes on the movie, it's at least saying something.
yeah. And I think that's a big reason why the movie's doing so well. Is because it means different things to different people. And when you have a movie like that where different people are going to get different things out of it, they're gonna get enjoyment from it, and so they're gonna see it. They're gonna like it. They're gonna want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm almost talking myself into that being a thing of the week sometime this month,
Mm,
just just because I'm curious. And it sounds
yeah,
generally fun.
yeah,
Meanwhile, Christopher Nolan does not make movies that Christopher Nolan does not want to make, except maybe the third Batman movie.
yeah. He clearly didn't want to do that one. Uh,
Uh, uh, so, and Mario movie. I mean, everyone's a fan of Mario, so everybody working on that was probably having so much fun cramming every reference. Like, we're gonna do Mario 64 and Mario and Super Mario Brothers and the three
Donkey
and
Kong,
yeah,
yeah,
the DS games, and we're gonna have an obscure character who employed the Mario Brothers in a game that nobody's played from the NES. Like that buff guy who I thought was like who was purple with like Jet, I think his name was, or whatever the guy with the sunglasses was named.
yeah.
He had a game for the NES that featured the Mario Brothers where he was their boss. So that's like that's the type of deep cuts they were doing there.
Wow. Yeah, the only characters missing were Wario and Yoshi. Although if you watch the post credits, Yoshi shows up. And Ninja says Barbie had a clear vision with an interpretation. You know, and he also says the prevailing narrative is that it's an accidental critique where they pushed so hard it circled back to parody.
It's
Mm.
possible. I mean, here's the thing. Um, I would say that one of the best ways to make an atheist is to subject them to really bad arguments for the existence of God.
Yeah,
'Cause, or for that matter, the best way to make a conservative is to subject them to really bad arguments for liberalism. I mean, it's like they like if you have a belief and you keep coming across bad arguments for it, you're going to eventually start questioning, am I dumb for having this belief?
yeah,
Even if there are totally rational beliefs, but because you keep hearing the bad ones, you eventually like hit a tipping point, right?
right,
Wh-
yeah,
where you can get kind of forced into some like cognitive dissonance. Like
yeah,
if this movie is a bad argument for feminism, then it could have a similar effect.
yeah,
The other thing that's interesting about Barbie to me, and this is like a phenomenon I've heard about in like polling for years, people in our age bracket and younger, there's like a more of a clear split in political alignment between the sexes.
yeah,
More men are conservative, more women are liberal. And this movie, even if Matt Walsh is seeing like secret conservative messages, on the surface level that most people are going to appreciate this movie on, this is probably like this is probably finally a movie that's actually meant for modern women. It isn't Star Wars being dressed up in feminist gear to try and uh, you know please like us.
yeah,
The, this
and
isn't oh this isn't He-Man baiting you with He-Man and then making the show about Tila.
yeah,
This is just it's a girly movie that's meant to appeal to feminine people,
yes,
and that's okay. Um, and it's kind of there's also like been a phenomenon where because more women are going to college than men because they've kind of they've kind of been encouraging it for a long time. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
there are a lot of women who are primary breadwinners in households, which might make it, or are just single and able to support themselves on their paycheck from their college requiring job.
yeah,
Uh, Guys, that's a you've been attacking this market in the dumbest way possible.
yeah,
Don't take the boys' properties and try to make it appeal to the millennial women.
yeah. Yes, actually take girls' properties and make it appeal to women.
Yeah, Sex in the City is always a big seller for a reason
Yeah.
because it appeals to that audience.
Yes.
So But what also makes these movies is that, like I was saying before, they are movies that aren't tied to existing movie franchises,
Right.
which to my mind means it's not so much that people have stopped giving the benefit of the doubt. It's just like, oh, I've seen 7 Transformers movies. I've seen 7 Mission Impossible movies. I've seen 30 plus Marvel movies. I've seen I've seen what they've gotten up to like now, like 10, probably 10 total DCEU movies,
Yeah. So yeah, somewhere
something
around
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
Holy Ninja says, make more trashy, questionable romance films with shirtless man covers. Yes, that's how you get people back into theaters.
Yep.
Even during the pandemic, a lot of people went out to go see Channing Tatum as kind of a dumb himbo in that Lost City movie.
Yeah. Uh,
He takes his shirt off several times in the movie.
mm,
They know their market.
yes.
Um, so yeah, and also Sound of Freedom is kind of an outlier, but it's still similar in that it's not like it's the fourth movie in the Sound of Freedomiverse,
Right. Yeah.
in the Save Childreniverse.
Yeah.
So I think that what we're seeing here is like people are just more interested in things that are new and unique,
Mm.
or at least they're rewarding them in the box office.
Yes, and they're punishing the franchises that are getting tired and worn out, and nobody
Yeah,
cares about them anymore.
I mean, so your Flash is still up here. Yeah, okay. Oh, the Flash managed to cross 100 million. Good job. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah, it's combined global box office after 7 weekends, 107 million, or excuse me, 260 million. Um, Barbie more or less made that its first week.
Yeah, man.
So, so yeah, I actually find this very encouraging, just overall, because it's like I went out to go see Joyride. There isn't a Joyriderverse. I just thought that movie's oh, dang, I'm totally blanking on the guy, on the film threat guy.
Chris Gore.
Chris Gore made it sound intriguing, and
Yeah.
I haven't seen a movie about 4 Asian American women going on a raunchy road trip in China. Sure, I'll give that a shot.
Yeah. Ninja says, "Yeah, Cheng is good for you, Flash." And Ninja says, "People like novelty more than stability, especially after years of the same types of films." Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the superhero movie phenomena is that if it's building towards something, then it can really work.
Hmm.
Like I think that part of the MCU's success is that they did keep dribbling hints about the Infinity Stones and Thanos and stuff, so that when they finally paid that off, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like what's the MCU building towards right now? In fact, we explicitly know that the DCEU is building towards nothing.
Yeah.
So like
Uh,
bold strategy there, Cotton. Tell people in advance that the movies you're releasing are good but have nowhere to go.
yeah.